And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. Construction goes on, and the company with the best building materials for 100 years is A.G. Hines Company. They're offering right now curbside service. You can call ahead; they'll bring it to your car. They stay 6 feet away from you inside their store. They don't even hand you a pen. You don't have to sign anything. They are taking this seriously. Real community leaders. That's what you got at A.G. Hines Company, and they've been doing that for a century. Literally, which is amazing. A.G. Hines Company, if you've got a construction project, they're the folks to turn to. All right, let me show you something here. What you see here is an emergency plan. If I were Greg Sankey, I'd have the smartest computer spitting out scheduling plans right now. If doctors this summer project another wave of virus when the weather turns cold, I would be ready with an SEC-only schedule. Now, the fact that the league is 14 teams and you got 2 divisions of 7 make it nearly impossible to line this up because you always have to have open dates because you can't have everybody playing everybody. But the idea being here, buy out the non-conference games. That's a cost. Move all the SEC November games forward and keep the September and October games as scheduled. So that's what you see there for each team. The schedule isn't important, I'm just giving you an idea. But the idea being there, you know, if Tennessee plays Oklahoma, that money is Oklahoma because it's there. How do you keep all the money at home? How do you keep all the games at home? All right, go to an SEC-only schedule. And you say, well, it's a 6-game season, but 6 beats none. We're going to get some of these games in, and we're going to get some money and some revenue onto these campuses. And we got a better chance of drawing people out to the stadiums to see Georgia at Tennessee than we do Charlotte at Tennessee. Now, that's my thing. Now, there is a way to do it. You could play 8 games in 8 weeks. Start September 5th, be done by October 24th. Everybody plays 8 games. You just have to throw out divisions. I based this on which teams have played other teams the most in history, and then also trying to keep people close. You do that, you can have an 8-game schedule. And you just look at it and say, hey, this isn't your normal season. It's a one-off. So don't complain that your schedule's tough or their schedule's easier. Just look at it and say, it's crazy times. It's the end of days, as that announcer said. We're going to get you some football, and we're going to get some money on campus.
Yeah, the record books would always have an asterisk, recognizing this year was different.
Much like the World War II seasons, if you go back and look at those. So my question for you guys, buying into not necessarily that design of a plan, that's not what I'm getting at, but do you buy into the idea of having in your hip pocket an SEC-only schedule? Or do you think, no, get your games in as long as you can, and if your only games are Charlotte and East Oxnard State, so be it?
No, have a plan. Matter of fact, I'm not so sure I wouldn't like an 8-game SEC schedule better than the 12-game, oh, look at the crappy team coming to Neyland Stadium
With the
schedule.
exception of Oklahoma, what do you mean?
Exactly. And so, no, I think have that contingency plan in place. Matter of fact, I would probably have contingencies from everything from, let's say, minimum of 6 games like you had up to maybe can you get in 10 games and just work it around all playing SEC teams. But, yes, I would have a plan, and I'd have a backup plan for my plan.
Well, certainly. I mean, that's the thing. It's an 8-game deal. Make a 12-game now, to where everybody can play anybody in the league, and you end it where you have to end it.
On the key point is, yes, they should have something in place. If normal travel, normal football, normal that stuff, if they say come November, we could be right back where we are in March. Yeah, have a contingency.
And if it's me, I don't trust the NCAA to give me.
Yeah, that's part of it.
I just go ahead and say, hey, if the ACC wants to do this or they want to continue playing somebody else, good for them. We're bringing our stuff in-house. This is the way we're going to do it because we want all the money. We want all the programming.
Yeah, I would have multiple contingency plans, including those schedules as examples, as well as timelines. Maybe we start it here, maybe we start it at this time, and maybe none of it is used, but that's the whole point of this, is you're preparing in advance in case you have the experts that come in and say, yeah, this timeline's not going to really work out for you. And some people are going to say, no, that's not how we do it in college football. We play 12 games even though you used to play 11, so you've already made those changes anyway.
Right. At one point you played 10.
Yeah, and I would say, well, okay, let's throw a couple of scenarios out. You play this 6-game or this 8-game schedule, or Kirk Herbstreit's fear becomes true and you don't have any football. Which one do you like better there? And then I think people start to choose 6 games over none.
Well, and I also think that the SEC side of it, again, Charlotte or Georgia, who would you rather see coming to Neyland Stadium, or Charlotte or Arkansas, or Charlotte or anybody in the SEC?
I enjoy bye week more. most of the time.
Well, actually, yeah. I think that's,
not kidding.
It's not fun doing
Well,
shows
it's
unless Georgia State
John and I
pulls an
talked about-
upset. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what's coming.
We talked about this yesterday. Unless you're on top of the world, Alabama, LSU right now, those games don't draw huge sellout crowds. So you're already looking at having $65,000 or 65,000 people for Charlotte. Well, do you end up having 30,000 people for Charlotte? Then does
Because
having
of
that game
the fear of the
because
bye.
of the fear, then
Definitely
does that
signals
game
that,
become
yeah.
a black hole for you? I mean, instead of, okay, we're having a football game, does it become more of a net negative that you're over there with a 1/3 filled stadium? So if there are fears floating around at that time, contingency plans, it's just smart. I mean, it's good business. Doesn't matter if it's football or something else, it's just good business.
Yeah, John, I would go ahead and, I don't know if you can copyright a schedule, but I'd try that. And if you happen to work Bob, David, and Josh in on the SEC's purchase
I'm
of your
sure
schedule.
they'll send us some money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be a problem.
Sue
But
'em.
I do think, to me, part of it is the revenue. Now, you would have to pay to cancel these games,
Right.
so there's cost. But I think you'd make more money, and it may be one of those things where, as a league, you're also looking at it and saying, one time only, we're all in this together. I keep saying that every week, every segment, but the league could say, we're pooling everything, and then we'll divvy out whatever we make. And let's say we have to cancel it after 5 weeks. All the money comes internally. We split it, we divvy it out 14 ways. I just think if it's me and I'm Greg Sankey, I would be preparing right now, and I believe Mike Slive would have. I really do. He was such an innovator. I think Jim Delaney of the Big Ten was also cutthroat. Hey, we'll do what's good for everybody else after I take care of myself. I think Mike Slive would have been looking at this saying, yeah, I really don't care about the Pac-12. What are we going to do? Because I'm not trusting Mark Emmert to hand down some great edict. So we're just going to break off and do our own thing. And if you're able to play an 8-game schedule or something, and somehow you can still kick in a championship game, play it somewhere on a campus, and get everybody watching that. I think you're building up SEC Network.
Yep.
You're helping some of your ESPN, CBS partners by giving them program. And again, the biggie, all cash stays inside. But when we come back, we'll ask, does Greg Sankey have the guts to go it alone? Will other leagues go it alone? Is it going to be willy-nilly, which I think it will. We'll see if these guys agree. Come on back on The Sports Source.